Good morning, everyone. I like it when I get an answer. Any questions before we start today? There are some questions. I got some emails, amazing emails. I love email with questions. One of the questions is, hi Robert, I haven't been able to see any submission times details for the coursework on the Moodle page. Grateful if you could let me know where these can be accessed. So in the coursework description, you'll notice it says submit on Moodle. A link to a submission form will be provided a few days before the deadline. So that's what's going to happen. You'll fill out a form and you'll submit. The form is just going to say, what's your first name? What's your surname? Who is the author from the University of Nottingham on the paper? What is the DOI of the paper? And then a URL to the video. Yeah, so that's what the form is that you'll fill out. I got another amazing email with another question on Coursework 1. That I don't have the email with me, but it says something like, Dear Bob, can I use animation in my Coursework 1 video as opposed to static slides? And the answer is yes, you can use animation as opposed to just static slides. No problem with that. Any other questions about Coursework 1? Just two reminders. So there's a video here and the references and extra help. 18 questions and answers on Coursework 1. So if you want to have a look at that to see if, maybe you have some questions that overlap with those 18, that's a little reminder. Another little reminder is we have this early module feedback form. So today during the workshop, today is a great day to fill out that form. Yeah, the chances to fill it out will end, I think, in a few days. I think there's a window of time where you can submit the form, but then that window closes. So you want to take advantage of that while you can. Any other questions before we start? Everybody's excited, like you're coming in here, it's like magic. You come in here and then when you leave, you're more educated. It's cool. So I think last week somebody asked me, Bob, how do we search for papers? So today we're going to talk a little bit about searching for research papers, some ways to do that, where to look, and then we're going to try an in-class exercise. So why are we doing this exercise? One of the related work section is a defining characteristic of a research paper, right? That's a massive part of the research, is to find out what's been done before. It happens a lot that you submit a research paper for peer review, and then one of the reviewer criticizes you to say, hey, you haven't cited this paper, which is working on the same problem you've already worked on, or you're already working on. Sometimes it can even happen that you're working on a problem that somebody else already solved. So you're reinventing the wheel. right? So you can get a reviewer comment that says, sorry, this problem has already been solved. Here's the paper that solves it. You didn't see it, like you didn't find it, right? And that's bad news. That's really bad news. Because you might have just spent 6 months to a year working on a problem, and somebody else already did it and published it, and you didn't notice. That's definitely something you don't want to experience. So it's important to put research into context, in the context of current technologies, and in the context of existing research, right? You want to find out what's been done on your problem already. So we're going to discuss how to find relevant research for your project. And we use this word context sometimes. Well, we use it regularly, right? Context means like what is happening, what happened before you, right? What research has been done on this project prior to your project, right? So the introduction and related work sections of your dissertation discuss the previous research on your topic, right? And then you compare what you're doing with how previous people addressed the same problem. So, and then you summarize how your work builds on or contrasts with existing work. In other words, you make a comparison. Like, I know that these people have worked on this problem, but I'm approaching it in a slightly different way. For example, my evaluation, I include a user study in my evaluation, whereas the previous method does not. Right. So you compare your ideas with other papers with clear references. How does your work draw on techniques, data sets, or other evaluation methods, or other things from other papers? So you're making a comparison between what you're doing and what previous people have done in the same area. This is a common question: how many references to include? There is no exact black and white answer to this. It depends on what you're working on. But I can give you some kind of opinions, let's say, or some guidance. If you're working on a problem and you do a search for related work and you find 10,000 results, like 10,000 related papers, that's too many, right? And it means the problem you're working on is too broad. What you want to do is you want to work on a problem that's narrow and then find, for example, ideally 10 related papers on your problem, right? And then you would aim for something like 20 to 30 references. I would say, as a rough guideline, 20 to 30 references in your dissertation. So it depends on what you're working on. Too many references means that the scope of your project is too broad, right? And too few might mean that the scope of your topic is too narrow. Too narrow is much better than too broad, by the way. This is something you'll have to discuss with your supervisor, right? Every project is going to be different. Every topic is different. There's no exact answer for that question. Okay, where do you search for related papers? So there are 3 good places to search. Google Scholar. Hopefully everybody here already knows about Google Scholar. But if you don't know about Google Scholar, now you do. There's a digital library called IEEE Explore. That's something you might not have seen yet. Has anybody seen that yet? Okay, good. That's a subscription library, so it costs money. Now you don't have to pay for it because the university has a license to that library. But as soon as you graduate, boom, it's gone. You won't be able to access it. access it anymore, unfortunately. Which is why Google Scholar is so good, right? It doesn't require you to pay for extra fees. And then there's the ACM Digital Library. That's another it's another subscription library, similar to the IEEE Explore library. So the IEEE is like the Institute of Electricians and Electronic Engineers or something like that. And the ACM is the Association for Computing Machinery. They're very old societies and organizations for computer scientists. And then these are like essential to know, and then there are some extras that you can also have a look at that are not essential. I use these three for my searches, generally speaking. But these are also interesting to know about. Okay, so today, I mean, as a general literature search process, there are about 4 or 5 steps, right? The first thing you want to do is try to find a survey paper that's related to your topic. You have something you're interested in. You have a topic you're interested in. Step 1 is there a survey paper or a state-of-the-art report or a literature survey that already is existing on this topic? So you could search for something like survey paper on visualization and AI. Right? You'll find some, by the way. Or state-of-the-art report on visualization and storytelling. Those are just some examples. You'll find some of those too. So some research papers summarize or provide a tutorial, right? Survey and review papers, they don't necessarily introduce new ideas, but they provide a review of the state of the art in a given area. Right? And there are even journals that are dedicated to only publishing surveys and state-of-the-art reports. There are also tutorial papers on given subjects, right, that provide an introduction to a topic. Those are very useful. So this is like the start of your journey when you search for related literature. Step 2 is you look at the so-called back-facing references. So you have your topic that you're interested in. Maybe you found a survey. Maybe you didn't find a survey, but you found a related paper. Then you look inside the references of that paper for more papers related to your topic. That's step 2, right? You look at the references at the end of the paper for more related references. Anybody want to guess what step 3 is? That's called back-facing references. Then you look forward into the future. So you have a paper, maybe it's a survey paper, maybe it's not a survey paper, a research paper. You can check forward in time. How do you do that? You use Google's Cited By feature. So if you have a research paper called, like, for example, Storytelling and Visualization, an Extended Survey, you can look at that in Google Scholar. And then Google Scholar will tell you who has cited, which other papers have cited this survey paper. In other words, there are papers that were published after this one in the future with respect to this paper. And you can find out what they are and look for more related papers. Anybody ever used that feature before? It's really cool. Step 4 is enter your paper into connectedpapers.com. So there's a website called connectedpapers.com. You can put your paper in there, Storytelling and Visualization and Extended Survey. There it is. And then it will show you all the related papers in a nice graph, an interactive graph. And you can find more related papers that way. And so you can also search for visual literature browsers in Google and try another tool out, right? It doesn't have to be connectedpapers.com. There are other tools that let you search for related papers. One of them is VOS Viewer. And then during your search process, you keep track of the papers. You use a tool to take notes on what papers you think are related, what ones you're not, which ones are not. You can use a tool like EndNote for Microsoft Word or BibTeX for LaTeX and Service to keep track of your references. And you can keep a database of related references. Right, this is a tool that lets you keep track of your references. It lets you set up a web page, and then you keep track of every reference in this database, and it sets up a web page for you. You can browse your web page and find out what your related references are, keep them nice, well organized. That is actually going to be part of Coursework 3. So that's exciting, really exciting. Okay, so today, what are we doing? Hopefully there are no big surprises, so we're going to form groups. That's why everybody chose their seats so carefully today. We're going to form groups of 4 to 6. The group is going to choose a topic of interest to search for. You may as well search for a topic that you think is interesting, related to like maybe your dissertation, for example. You're going to try to find a survey paper or a state-of-the-art report on that topic using Google Scholar, IEEE Explore, or the ACM Digital Library. Right. So choose a topic you think is interesting, try to find a survey on that. If you can't, you should be able to, but like if your group is just dying or whatever, you can just choose a survey or a star from that web page. You can then you start a Google Doc, one for each group, and then you add the paper title, the author list, and a full reference. Use Google Scholar to find out how many papers have cited your survey or star. Note this number in the Google Doc. Then use connected papers to explore and visualize the related papers of your survey. Take a screenshot of that. And then include the screenshot, the URL to your screenshot in the Google Doc. Does that make sense? Everybody with me? And then the last step is try a different tool. You have connectedpapers.com. Probably you're seeing it for the first time today. You probably have never seen it before. But there are other tools too besides connectedpapers.com to help you with this. So you're going to search for another visual literature explorer. Then you're going to try it out, take a screenshot, add the name of the tool, the URL to your Google Doc. Show us what it looks like. Show us what you found. And then you share the Google Doc with myself. Does it sound like fun? I can feel the educational wheels turning. They're turning inside everybody's head. Oh boy, I'm learning so much on a Friday morning. And I know what else you're thinking. You're thinking, yes, this is what I paid for. Thank you, Bob. Any questions? How's it going? No, I'm thinking Everybody ready to start learning?